Well, thank you so much for joining. Like Nick mentioned, I mean, we love working with Sockeye customers. We have, quite a bit of customers in common now. But the reason why I'm here today is to show you our really new and really exciting Sage Intacct for construction integration. So those of you who may already be familiar with GCPay, we were established in 2003, but actually that integration with Sage, the first one with Sage 300 CRE, was created in 2004. So us and Sage have been partners for a long, long time. Since then, we now have over 40,000 companies using the platform, and we are managing projects in all 50 states plus Canada. I know that, Sockeye has customers all over the country, a lot being on the West Coast, Alaska, Hawaii. Just so you know, we have a lot of ongoing projects already in all of those states. So why companies look at GCPay? You may be kind of asking yourself, okay, sounds interesting, but why would my company look at something like this? The answer, I kind of have the 6 main issues that our current Sage and Sockeye customers were experiencing before GCPay. So if you're thinking about your current process and you have issues with subcontractor billing errors, this could be overbilling, math mistake, anything like that you're manually having to double or triple check or having to catch after, GCPay will eliminate all of that. Next big one is unapproved change orders. So if you ever deal with subs trying to submit for unapproved change orders, or your team having to spend time to double, triple check to make sure that change orders are in fact supposed to be there, you will love our direct integration with Intacct because we will pull over all those change orders automatically. Third, very, very important, missing or incorrect lien waivers. So right now, if during your current process, if you're the one creating the lien waivers and you ever struggle with subcontractors not returning waivers when you need them, you will really want to learn more about our lien waiver integration feature. Fourth, and this is a really big one for anyone who's either on Intacct or considering moving to Intacct. As you know, right now, Intacct does not have a subcontractor compliance module, but fear not, because it's GCPay actually serves as that kind of stopgap until that module is built. We have a fully streamlined automated subcontractor compliance feature in the system that allows you to use Intacct, but still fully automate your subcontractor insurance and compliance, which I'll make sure to show. Fifth one, this has been really big, since the pandemic, is if you're trying to get away from the printing and distributing of paper checks, we do have a fully optional electronic payment feature built right into the system. Last but not least, right now, if you are hand keying in any way those invoices to or from Sage Intacct or any of your other Sage ERPs, we will fully eliminate that. Like I mentioned, this is just going to be a really quick overview of GCPay and our Intacct integration. If any of these issues really stand out, I highly encourage you to reach out for a more, direct full-length demo. But I just wanted to take note here, although this is Intacct focus, we do fully integrate with Sage 300 CRE and Sage 100 Contractor. All right, not to brag, but I guess a little bit of bragging. We were voted the number one construction accounting software in 2021 and 2022. So we're going on 2 years running now. I highly encourage you guys to go on Capterra and G2 and read all the hundreds of reviews we have from, like-minded Sage customers. Won't go through all these, but again, there's a lot of customer reviews on Capterra and G2 for your team to read. What usually happens after a webinar or demo is, general contractors, they say, okay, we love GCPay. This seems like it could really help our organization. What do subs think? We can actually tell you that 85% of subcontractors who use the platform are very satisfied or satisfied using it. And more than that, I'd probably say almost half of our subcontractors are those really low tech subs, those mom and pop shops, might be a couple of people in it. And what's, I think, most rewarding for us is the fact that those low tech subs really like GCPay. This is a really nice email that one of our low tech subs sent us, basically calling himself a dinosaur and saying that he's a step reluctant to do, new softwares, but he is just completely blown away by how great GCPay support is, how great the product's been. And really, we didn't ask him to send this. He on his own sent us this email just telling us thank you. I'm so glad my general contractor, made me use GCPay because it's made my life easier. And I really, rediscovered what good customer support is. So I'll stop harping on it, but again, really encourage you to look at our reviews. And I want anyone listening to know that not only do subs love us, but specifically low tech subcontractors really get a lot of benefit out of GCPay. All right, so enough of me talking. Let's actually go in here and show you the platform. I'm just going to switch gears here, Nick, for 1 second. So let me know when you're able to see the GCPay screen again.
Yep, we're good.
Perfect. Okay. So what we're looking at right now is GCPay. First thing I want you to notice is that I'm just on a website, and that's because GCPay is a fully cloud-based solution. Yes, we're almost in 2023, so we of course want a cloud-based solution. This is also why we pair so well with Sage Intacct's, cloud-based software. But for those of you, in the office, this is really nice because you don't have to be tied to your computer or tied to your server. Project managers love it because they can just be on the job site and pull out their tablet and start using GCPay. So again, like I mentioned, this is going to be a really quick overview of some of our top general contractor and subcontractor features. If any of these features you want to learn more about, definitely reach out and we can give you an actually in-depth demo, showing you more about lien waivers or compliance or electronic payment. So to start a new project in GCPay is super easy. You can click here with Start a New Project, or you can go to your Projects tab. It'll show you all of your projects that you're currently managing in the system, and you can click Add New Project. So here, all I do is select my company. I'm going to set it up. What it's doing right now is via our direct API integration with Sage Intacct, it's in live time pulling over a list of all of your possible projects that can come over from Sage Intacct. So give me a minute here and it will load all of these projects. For this, I'm just going to say, let's do this Coyote lot one. And now what it's doing, you guys, is in real time, it is pulling over all that relevant project information, project name, state, county, start date, owner, everything like that, which completely eliminates your team having to hand key any of it ever. For the sake of this demo though, or this webinar, I already set one up for us just because I wanted it to be a little bit more realistic. But as you can see here, the Coyote one loaded. I've already loaded one in here for us. For the sake of this webinar, we're going to be building a brewery called Stoll Brewery. And again, I did not put in any of this information. It came over straight from Sage Intacct. Next thing you would do is just add the users that you'd like at your company. If you'll see here, it says my name, Sabrina Katz, and then the name of my company, Sage Intacct Construction. Very creative name, I know, but this is really important for your team because each user will have their own unique login and password. So of course, project managers will want to have access to the projects that admins give them access to, project coordinators, so on and so forth. Each person in your organization will have their own login and password. So as you notice, I'm already added as a user. That's because any of your, consistent users, let's say it's a controller, a CFO, an accounting manager, he or she will be added to every project every time. And all you have to do is go in and add your variable users. You also can set up routing and approvals. So right now, if you think about your routing and approval process and things are getting emailed into an AP inbox and then forwarded or putting on servers or printed and put into physical folders, whatever it may be, you'll definitely want to reach out and learn a little bit more about our robust routing and approval process because it basically automates all of this. It goes from one person to the next automatically in the system, and we have a bunch of advanced options as well. All right, now that we've set up internally who's going to be on this project, all we have to do is add the subcontractors. Really easy, you just click add company here. You can start by typing in their EIN numbers or their name. It'll pre-populate anyone who's already in our system. If they're new, you can just send them an invite, as well as your onboarding manager can help you mass invite subcontractors to the job. For this, I've added an electrical and heating and air conditioning sub to the project. All right, so now is when the fun really gets started, and we're actually going to link those commitments or contracts directly from Intacct into GCPay. Because remember, we already have the project information loaded. Now you just tell us, okay, what contracts, what commitments you want to bring over. All you do is click link contract. It'll pull a list of all of those that can be can be pulled over from that project. It's also really smart. If you auto select match contracts, it'll say, oh, hey, look, we see that, Jackson Heating AC is one of your subs and they have an active contract on this project. Do you want to bring it over? I'm going to say, yes, I want to bring over this one. We're going to create a new schedule here. All you do is associate it with Jackson Heating and Air Conditioning. I won't spend too much time on retainage. If retainage is something that is important to your team, definitely reach out for a more in-depth discussion on it. I could probably spend 30 minutes just talking about how we do retainage. What's nice is we'll pull it over those straight from your Sage account, and as a GC, you have the ability to change retainage throughout. So I'm going to click OK here. And now all that happened is it pulled over that lump sum contract amount. And now the subcontractor gets notified and asked to break it out into more detail via a schedule of values. Alternatively, we have some companies that already detail this out in Intacct, and they want to have it brought over with all the detail on it. So I can go like this. And now notice how this one came over, no hand keying at all for your team with the detail. We don't care if you want to bring over a lump sum contract or a detailed contract. It doesn't matter to us. It's whatever works best for your team. All right, now I'm going to quickly touch on compliance. Again, the nice thing is that Sage Intacct does not have that subcontractor compliance and insurance module, right? This is how you can use GCPay. All we need is you tell us the description of the compliance or insurance you want, and then you give us the expiration date. You can upload a template and you're done. GCPay will automatically notify the subcontractor 30 days before expiration, the day it's expiring, and we can even do things like automatically hold payment if compliance is outdated. So again, if you're wanting to update and streamline your subcontractor insurance and compliance process, is a initiative of yours, definitely reach out. I can, go more in depth, spend 20 more minutes just showing you all of our compliance features. All right, so for this, I'm going to log in as that heating and air conditioning sub because the lump sum contract was brought over. And all I'm going to do is submit a schedule of values. Before we do that, though, I do want to show you the subcontractor dashboard. Subcontractors, this is a huge reason why they love GCPay so much. This fully replaces and eliminates all that back and forth emailing. Think of your subs right now. When they're on a project, they have to open up an email from a certain general contractor on a certain project, pull up Excel sheets, there's phone calls, there's sticky notes. All that's replaced by the dashboard. We make it really obvious. Red means you owe something, green means you don't. Your subcontractors can go in, most have this be their homepage, and they can actually group it by project. So let's see here. Right here, it says, okay, you need to submit a schedule of values on this Stoll Brewery. I'm going to click edit here. And this next part just matters on how much detail you'd like. So if if your company only asks for a certain, a couple line items of detail, so I can go in here, add a couple line items. What most do though, is they already have it in Excel for their own backup. And what's really nice about GCPay is that your subcontractors can just go in here and upload an Excel file straight from their computer. So now notice within a second, this schedule of value is uploaded into the system. Just so you guys know, what's really nice about GCPay is that the subcontractors are unable to overbill the contract. So if you got this to review on your end, the line items directly tied to the contract value. So never again do you have to deal with subcontractors accidentally or not accidentally, overbilling contracts. Going to click save here. You'll notice that I want to submit this schedule of value, but I can't because the general contractor is requiring a document. You can ask for any sort of custom document that you want to come along with that schedule of value, or the owner wants to come along with the schedule of value. The point is though the sub is, forced to submit this document along with the schedule of values, which ensures you will not be chasing it as well. Outstanding compliance. Again, can't go too much into compliance right now, but if this is something you're more interested in seeing, definitely reach out. But we do notify subs when they get notifications and it's really obvious in their system. Hey, you have outstanding compliance issues. Click here to view them and upload the documents. So now we're going to log back in as the general contractor, and all we're going to do is approve that schedule of values so the sub can start billing. I know you guys are probably a little bit jealous that the subcontractors had a dashboard. Don't worry, because all of you will also have your own dashboard. Let's see here. We can refresh this. So what's really nice about this is that, again, each person at your company will have their own dashboard and it'll be fully customized to what you are supposed to be reviewing or approving. So obviously the PMs will look different than the CFOs, who will look different than the project coordinators, but no more having to make sure, you know, to deal with bogged down email inboxes or anything like that. You can go here and also see, okay, what lien waivers have been uploaded that I need to review? Just go down line here, review. Same with compliance. Dashboard's another thing that I could probably spend, you know, a whole demo on. So if you are interested in learning more about the subcontractor side or the general contractor side, definitely reach out. So now look, all I'm doing is reviewing the schedule of value that the subcontractor submitted. I don't have to worry whatsoever about this being overbilled, right? So in reality, all that I'm really paying attention to is, does it have as much detail as I'd like? Yes or no, you know. So now this looks good to me. Until I click approve, your subs cannot bill on it. So this way there'll be absolutely no surprises whatsoever for your team what the subcontractors are billing against. If you are to reject it, you cannot just blindly reject it. You have to put in notes. And that's just so your subcontractor is not left in the dark as to why something is being rejected. I'm going to click approve. Now that I've clicked approve, and only now your subcontractors can start billing against it. All right. Before we show the sub billing, there's one thing I want to show you. And that's change orders. So the way change orders work at GCPay, via our direct integration with Intacct, the two talk to each other automatically every 30 minutes. So if you put an update, I also should say, for those of you that are using Procore with Intacct, it's the same thing. If you put your change orders or your contracts into Procore, they go into Intacct, then they'll go into GCPay. You'll notice no difference with it in the background. The whole point, though, is as long as you put your change orders as approved, either in Procore or in Intacct, no hand keying whatsoever, they'll flow over into GCPay in 30 minutes. But we do know there are instances where project managers may want to push a change order through really quickly. So if I scroll down, it tells me, hey, within the last 10 minutes, this change order for $8,000 has come through. If I do nothing and, all this just chit chat the next, 10 minutes, you'll see it being pushed. But I do want to show you that you can always manually push it through if a PM needs it to be billable ASAP. So you click save here, and now notice how that change order for $8,000 is added as an additional line item on that approved schedule of values. So again, showing you just the tip of the iceberg of what we can do with change orders. But what's really nice for your team is no hand keying. And then for your subcontractors and obviously the general contractor, subcontractors are unable to bill against any unapproved change orders. These are the only change orders they can bill against, and they come straight from your Sage or Procore account. All right. I won't go over all of this today, but I just want you to see that we have a ton of settings. You can completely customize the lien waiver workflow or process, as well as the project compliance and documents. So again, if lien waivers or project compliance is something that your team wants to learn more about, definitely let me know. So now we're going to log back in as the sub for the last time. I'm going to go to that Stoll Brewery, create my application for payment. Again, can't spend too much time on retention today, but just know the platform, I've been showing standard throughout, but the platform does support multiple different kinds of retainage. And as the general contractor, you're the one who controls retainage. All right, so let's say now I'm the sub, right? I can have this on my computer, or maybe I have it on my tablet, or a lot of our subcontractors, because it's a cloud-based solution, at the end of the day, they'll literally pull up their phone and they can do the billing straight from their phone. So no, there's no surprises for me. This is the schedule value that I sent in that the GC approved. Look, there's that change order for $8,000. That is the only change order. I'm unable to create a change order. I'm also unable to mess with description, schedule value. The previous build column, I also cannot touch. This is my first one. So right now, if you're handling any of this via Excel and kind of have to deal with, really manipulating Excel or broken Excel, formulas or columns or anything like that, you will love this. Super easy. All I can do is these 3 columns. So let's see, exterior units, I'm going to bill $30,000 for. Automatically calculates the percentage. I can say I've done 20% here, 10% here. Let's build that change order for 50%. Notice how, as I'm doing it for your subcontractor, all the calculations are being done, the total completed and stored, the GNC, the retainage amount, everything like that. Also, if you ever deal with subcontractors inadvertently, overbilling a line item, or, you having to double or triple check to make sure something's not overbilled. Let's say I try and overbill this $3,000 HVAC electrical line for $4,000. Will not let me do it. In GCPay, if you even try and overbill something by 1 penny, you will be unable to do it. So never, ever again does your team have to worry about any sort of contract overbilling or line item overbilling. For those of you who do require stored material, I won't show this feature today, but definitely reach out, because we can actually, if a subcontractor bills for stored material, we can require backups such as insurance, photos, things like that before they can submit their billing. If I scroll down here as the sub, it'll say, okay, this is how much is due. This is how much you'll be paid, if approved. Very, very transparent, shows the retainage, all the sums, all that math is done for them. They're not reaching out kind of unsure of what they'll get paid. All right. So next part is, notice how as the sub, I'm excited to submit this and get paid, but there are quite a few items that the general contractor is requiring. Cannot submit it, right? And this is really where your team has so much, so much control over the process, because you are able to require anything you need up front. So never, ever again will your team be having to chase down lien waivers or tiered information or anything like that. So the next is just provide just information about your contractors. This is our tiered vendor tracking functionality. If you're wanting to better track your tiered vendors, or you'd like GCPay to handle your tiered waivers, reach out. I won't show this feature today, but it's incredible. We can track all of your tiered subs. They just tell us, hey, do you have a tiered contractor or not? They click yes, they give the information, you're able to see it, and we're able to handle all of the tiered waivers. Checklist. This is just something, it can be fully customizable verbiage. So it says, if you have outstanding compliance items, you will not be paid. And that just means that the subcontractor has to acknowledge it. So they can't be like, hey, I didn't realize if my general liability was expired, I wouldn't get paid. It's like, we talked about it, it's on your contract, and you physically have to acknowledge this checkbox. But again, you can put any sort of custom verbiage. You can have as many of these checkboxes as you want. It's really nice. It shows up on the audit trail for your team. All right, last but definitely not least is lien waivers. So I wanted to show you the whole breadth of lien waiver options. Notice how in GCPay, I have 2 conditionals, 1 unconditional, 2 digital signature, and 1 notarization. So let's just go here for this conditional. First thing I want you to notice is everything in bold. So your team did not type this in. The sub definitely did not type this in, yet all the relevant information for the lien waiver is on it already. That is because we have 70 different custom tags that will automatically populate this information onto the lien waiver for you. So what's really nice for me is the sub, right? I'm on my computer, my tablet, my phone. I scroll down here. If you allow digital signature, GCPay has digital signature built right into the system. It's legal by UETA guidelines and fully legal as a wet signature in all 50 states. What this means is that your subcontractors have no opportunity to, download it, white it out, edit it. They don't have to put any of the information in, so your team doesn't have to worry that anything's wrong. And from your side, all the relevant information is automatically generated onto the lien waiver. Perfect. So now this one that I was requiring notarization, right? We have 2 options for notarization. If your subcontractors, have a notary in the office, they can always download it, get it notarized in the office, re-upload it. That's totally fine with us. We also have a partnership with notarize.com. So we have this notarize button. It actually opens up like a Zoom screen, kind of like we're on right now. There's a notary on the other side who will give their online notarization stamp, and then it's imported directly back into GCPay. The nice thing about this is that your subcontractors will never have to leave their home or their car to get something notarized. They can literally do it from their mobile. So multiple options if you require notarization on waivers. The whole point though is that you just tell us what waivers you want to require and when, and we set all the rest up for you, guaranteeing you get them when you want. Last but not least is this unconditional waiver. So you may be asking, okay, why on earth would a subcontractor, ever sign unconditional or final waiver before they get paid? This is because I have our fully optional electronic payment feature turned on, which guarantees receipt of unconditional or final waiver every time. So when your subcontractors go to sign that unconditional or final waiver, this exchange waiver warning pops up and it says, payment exchange waivers are required at the time of pay app submission and are held in trust by GCPay. The approver is given an unofficial watermarked version. So basically the general contractor is given an unofficial watermarked version to review prior to releasing payment. The official copy is only released when payment is successfully deposited to the subcontractor's account. So basically what happens is the subcontractor submits it now before they get paid. But as you'll see, watch this, it's only when I click sign, what the general contractor gets to see is a unofficial copy. It has this unofficial copy watermark all over it. And because in this case, the general contractor is utilizing the optional electronic payment, not until the funds clear the subcontractor's bank account, simultaneously, then we will release the waiver back to general contractor without the watermark. So both parties are completely protected. Subs love it because they get paid so much quicker directly into their bank account. No need to deal with checks. Obviously, general contractors love it because GCPay is the one that handles all the sensitive bank account information. We handle, double making sure that the bank accounts are updated. They don't take on any extra insurance or anything like that. And you don't have to deal with ever cutting checks again. All right, so I'm going to click submit here. And now all I'm doing is submitting this pay app back to the general contractor for review. There is one more thing I wanted to show. GCPay will automatically generate everything in that G702, G703 style for your team. So I just wanted to show you here. This is what, once approved, accounting will be sent a copy of. And because our Intacct integration is so slick, you can actually, at the end, import this PDF along with lien waivers directly back into your Intacct account in Sage. So we'll automatically generate it and then it can be saved. It'll be attached as an attachment on the actual invoice in Sage for your team. So again, if you guys want to see that, see the attachment going through on Sage, definitely reach out. I can go way more in depth and actually log into Intacct and show you kind of how it comes over and all the attachments that are able to come over with it as well. All right, so we're going to log in one last time. I'm going to go to my dashboard. Oh, look, I have an application for payment to review on this Stoll Brewery project. I'm going to click review here. Let's say I'm the PM, right? I'm walking the job site. I say, okay, get rid of all the noise. Let's just show me current billing. As the PM, I'm walking this, have it on my tablet. Oh yeah, that looks good. That looks good. Remember, this will automatically go through a routing and approval process that you have set up. No need to forward emails, print, anything like that. I'm going to click review here. And now all I'm doing now is approving this application for payment. Super easy. Once it's been approved, you can go into your Sage Intacct tab. It'll show you all invoices that you can import back into Intacct. You can select all of them like this, like that. Or in this case, I'm just going to do the Stoll Brewery. Then you just click export. You put the accounting date, and within a few seconds, then it is automatically imported back into your Sage Intacct account. It will actually go into AP new file and it will create the invoice for your team in Intacct. And like I mentioned, any of those attachments, the AIA, G702, G703, the waivers, all that can be imported with it and attached to your Intacct account. So again, definitely reach out if you want to see a little bit more about how the integration works in depth. Last piece is if you are utilizing our electronic payment feature, only a couple people in your company will have access to issue payments, not like willy-nilly. Anyone can just send, tens or thousands of dollars. Someone can come in here, see, okay, yep, this can be paid. All they do here is click create batch, create. Once you've moved it from payable, it goes into releasable. So it doesn't automatically get paid. And that's because a lot of our customers are paid when paid. So it'll sit in releasable until the GC gets paid by the owner, and then they will release the payment to the subcontractor. You're notified the entire time. So pending, submitted, escrowed, released, paying, paid. And then once it's paid, simultaneously, like I mentioned, we'll release any of those unconditional or final waivers attached with that invoice to the general contractor. So both parties are completely protected. And that again is I've just showed you the very tip of the iceberg of what GCPay can do. Let's go on and see what GCPay comes with. Give me a second here, Nick. I'm going to switch gears one more time.
No problem. Great.
Let's see here. All right. So what comes with GCPay? First off, we are not one of those software companies that just has you, sign on and then just sends you links to self-training or anything like that. As Nick and the rest of the sockeye team can say, we take training and onboarding customer support very seriously. So you will get your own dedicated onboarding account managers. Your onboarding manager will train every single person. So admin, accounting, project management teams, and your entire subcontractor workforce. So all we want you to do is just focus on enjoying and learning the system. Our team will take on making sure everyone is trained and ready to use the system. Once you've been in onboarding for 3 or 4 months, you then will switch to an account manager. Again, you'll get your own dedicated personal account manager who will make sure on an ongoing basis, you're happy with GCPay, any questions, and of course will alert you if any new features come out. So we will train your entire team and all of your subcontractors. Like I mentioned, GCPay comes with a direct API integration with Sage Intacct, as well as 300 CRE and Sage 100 Contractor. What I think is probably most important for your team and especially your subcontractors is our incredible 7 to 11 GCPay support via phone, email, or chat. So again, we never, ever want subcontractors calling your team again for help with invoices or lien waivers. We train them from the get-go. Hey, here's GCPay's direct phone number. Hey, here's our chat. Hey, here's our email. Please call us. Our average answer time on the phone is about 4 or 5 seconds, and usually we're able to get things resolved within 3 minutes. So your subs learn very early on that they can rely on GCPay support and they are never calling your team again. Another really nice thing about GCPay is that it's not seat-based, so you can have unlimited users. Whoever you think would need access at your company will be able to use GCPay. We do offer continuous training at no additional cost and the ability to engage existing projects and new projects into the system. So interested in learning more? Like I mentioned, this was just a very quick overview demonstration of GCPay and our Intacct integration. But if you want to learn more about, in-depth routing and approvals, that lien waiver exchange process, I could seriously do a whole other demo just about lien waivers. Tiered vendor tracking. If you're trying to better track your tiered vendors or your tiered waivers, definitely reach out. There's a lot more functionality I can show you on that. Obviously, managing sub-compliance in GCPay for Intacct users is going to be a really big deal. We can talk more about what the electronic payment process entails. I can actually show you that import into Intacct and the attachments. We also do create the owner invoice. It's a whole other section of GCPay that if you want GCPay to also create that invoice for your owner, we're totally able to do that. I'm more than happy to show you that functionality, as well as we have so many, Nick and the team know this, so many project level and company level reports that will allow you to get all the information you need without having to pull different files or anything like that. So for more information or a personalized demo, here's my email address. It's sabrinak@gcpay.com, or alternatively, you can of course reach out to one of your, incredible, sockeye representatives. But I'll leave this up here for a little bit. Nick, I'm not sure, have we had any questions come through?
We have had a couple, but actually they were sort of resolved as you went through. So
amazing.
You seem to be covering all the bases, Sabrina.
Well, that's what I'm here to do.
Great. Well, yeah, like I said, thank you so much for presenting today. This was great. Perfect level sort of overview. And I know this is something that's coming up more and more. So as you said, if there's any questions, either feel free to reach out to Sabrina or any of your sockeye account managers. We're here to help and want to make sure you have all the information you need and all the tools you need. So thank you very much for attending, and we'll have this recording available later today, should you want to distribute to anyone else in your organization.
Yes, and thank you so much, Nick, for having us. We love, we love all of our sockeye customers, and we're just so excited when new features and integrations come out to show your team.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.